of Martha Fix My Business. This is where basically you guys get to have a fly on the wall perspective of a one-on-one. And so Christy has come on with me today, and thank you, Christy, so much for your vulnerability to come on and do a one-on-one. Like it's people don't understand how scary it is not only to come on and have somebody else kind of go through your business with you, but to be able to own, and it's so important for us as business people, but to be able to own that, like, this thing isn't really working. And that's like, because so many business people, like they walk through their lives like everything's fine and then things are crumbling behind them, right? Like, let's just get vulnerable. Let's get real with like what doesn't seem like it's working, and let's be able to fix it. So good. So thank you, Christy, for coming on. And what
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. What I would like is for you to just describe what you do to people. So as they're, what you do to the people. So not what you do to people, but so they can understand if it makes sense, like if they can keep listening for their own business, if it sounds like it anchors with them. So go ahead and let them know what you do.
So currently, I'm in the middle of making a shift. So
Okay.
this is actually perfect timing.
Yeah.
I'm a nanny of 30 years. So I've created a sleep training program, and I've been kind of going down that path. And my new idea is to do an online nanny agency.
Ooh.
And yeah. And so that's kind of as far as I've gotten.
Yeah.
Just a really fresh idea. I'm just at the beginning stages of it. So I think, like, because I have all the experience, I know what nannies need and want, but what they don't ask for as well. And I know what parents need even when they don't ask for it. Essentially.
That is so good. Like, I'm excited for you about a nanny agency.
Yeah.
That is beyond exciting. What area do you live in? Like, is it a metropolitan area? Is it a place where people visit?
Well, I'm in Arcadia in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to do online so I could help everybody, because
Sure.
I'm from Minnesota and I've spent time in California, and I have friends all over the place that I know a lot of nannies and families that might need help whenever. So
Yeah.
thinking just online.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, I totally get that. But it'll always be anchored somewhere. So I'm asking where it's anchored at. Cool.
Yeah.
All right then. So what are you seeing as what are you needing help with right now so we can kind of drill down on it?
I'm just kind of like overwhelmed with it. What's the next step? I know I have to go to the Facebook groups and other places to find parents and nannies, and I need to reach out to people and kind of make connections and start doing that. But as far as the business side of it, I have to figure out pricing and
right. That's what you do before you do anything else. Yeah, you need to get the business nailed down first. Yeah, or else they'll be like, yeah, give me more information. And you're like, wait, the website isn't done yet, or the stuff isn't up yet. And then people will be like, oh, cart before the horse. So, so yeah, the business needs to absolutely be first. The pricing is going to be determined by what your people need to be paid. So what I would do is I would start from it's really you're benchmarking what people get paid, and of course in different areas a different pay is going to be expected, right? And so whenever I say anchoring in a place, when Phoenix being your place, that's where you can base the pricing at first. And then, if there's people in San Diego or something, then, price of living is different there and maybe not different from Phoenix, but anyway, I digress. But regardless, you need to know what they need first for then you to be able to add some in there for yourself on top of it. And so what would a nanny hourly, well, I guess first question is, Are you going to have already experienced nannies, or are you going to have tiers of nannies for parents to be able to choose from? Like, this person is newer, this person's more experienced, and yada yada. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think your price point is on the experience you have.
Right.
So the more experience you have, the more you make. And also, I also base it on like per child. So I have a starting point for one child is this much, and then it also depends on the duties of the nanny job. Are you also doing household stuff?
Yeah.
Groceries, etc. So I need to. That's what I need to think about in.
You just need to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
That's just you sitting down and doing it. An important thing that a lot of people miss, though, whenever they're starting out and they're creating their pricing, whenever there's other people involved. When we're creating our pricing on courses and stuff like that, there's such a big profit margin that it doesn't really matter. But whenever you're pricing and there are other people involved and there are other things involved in it, we need to know our cost of goods sold. Okay, so we need to know at the end of the day how much our insurance is factoring into it, how much admin are factoring into it. And if you don't have admin yet, if you're scaling, you will eventually. You need to factor that into it, so you're not going to have to raise prices. You can just out of the gate already have what your stuff is going to cost, and then already have your profit margin in it. So you have to think of what I would do is I would literally brainstorm every single thing that you're going to have in order for this to run. Now, it being an online agency, it's great that you're not going to have the brick and mortar overhead, right? Like, it's great that you're not going to have a lot of these different things, but you will have maybe a lawyer for contracts, or you will have the percentage that goes to Stripe or whatever, your merchant account percentage. You will have insurance. You will have other things that you absolutely need to have. And like I said, admin, figure those in. And if you're like, well, how would I know what an admin is going to make? Just give them an arbitrary amount of money, like whatever is, above minimum wage, and depending on what they're going to be doing, give them a good, healthy salary, right? And then be able to figure that in. So that's the most important thing. A lot of people, when they're starting business, they're like, okay, well, this is how much I paid this individual to do this thing. I'm going to add this chunk on top, and this chunk comes home to me. And that is not the case. And sometimes people barely break even, if even that, right?
Okay.
So, so there is that, the pricing. Now, what else are you going to are you going to also have, I can see this anyway, also having maybe even some sort of course or something that teaches women or girls how to be nannies, and then they can come into your agency to be a nanny, right? So like there's a course that shows them how to be a good nanny, and then they can get work from you after that. Is that on your radar at all?
I was trying to figure out some kind of courses. So I was thinking the nannies could buy my sleep training program, and kind of incorporate that in with the babies and stuff. But I like that idea. That's a good idea.
It's a journey, right? It allows for the journey. I think the sleep training may even be for the parents. So whenever the parents are already working with you, or before the parents even start working with you, their sort of lead magnet, the reason they would want to come to you is this sleep training that you teach them how to do. And because of that, because of where it sits inside the hierarchy of what you offer, I would even do that at a relatively low amount of money. So it's kind of lead magnet, kind of take out your credit card, but it's not too much, but it introduces them to you. And then, oh my gosh, you have an email. Did you know we have the nanny services? Did you know, that my own trained people I have trained myself, or people that I vetted myself, all over, the US, or however you want to, however you want to say that. Okay, so there is that. So because we always want to remember on an agency, you've always got two people that you're talking to, right? You've got the customer or the client, And then you've also got the workers, or the people that are going to actually be working within the agency. And so those two people are spoken to very differently. And so we want to kind of have something different for them. Now, for the nanny training, that I might charge a little bit more for, because that is skill set that kind of replicates or looks like vocational school, right? Where it shows them how to do a thing that then they can take out as a career. And so that you can charge a little bit more money for. And then whenever they come into your agency after having been through that, maybe they get a sign-on bonus that kind of just gives them a 25% back or something like that from the course that they took from you. That's completely up to you. But I like to really be able to give people wins and whiffums for being able to continue down the journey with me. And of course you would choose who you want to work with and who you don't, not just because they went through your course. But also when going through your course, are you going to be doing some sort of seal of approval, like with your brand, the seal of approval?
I think so. Yeah, that's important, right?
That would be very, very cool. They could put it on their website and have their website even link back to you. That's really good for SEO as well.
Okay.
Okay. Well, in this, because we're kind of just really spitballing on a lot of stuff, but we're good here. What are you wanting to drill down on now? Because we have a few minutes left that we could do, but right now what I'm doing is kind of just wireframing what the business looks like.
I think I need to really just, like you said, sit down and look at the pricing. Right now I am the baby whisperer, so I don't know if I could incorporate that into, the name of it, the tagline. What are your thoughts on that? That's where I get stuck a lot too.
I would just check to see if it's trademarked. If it's not trademarked, then go ahead and use it. And I would even get it trademarked. That's not something that even has to cost a lot of money. You can go to, LegalZoom and set up a trademark. You can actually go there, pay for it, and they'll, this was the last time that I did this. I don't know if it's still this way, okay? But the last time I did it, they said they would research whether it was trademarked or not. If it was, then you got refunded a certain amount. I don't believe it was all of it because they still had to do some work, but you got refunded a majority of what was going to have to happen if they trademarked it. So that would be a good way to search the trademarks. And then, if you can trademark the baby whisperer, hot holy smokes, man. That would be amazing. Amazing.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've had kids tell me that, and parents have named that. That was the name they've given me. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And then what I would also be working on in the interim as you're building here is I would be working on getting video, but then also written testimonials from parents that you've worked with before, just so you can have a full-on page of social proof that proves that, and you've got years in the business, and so let's get a bunch of proof that shows the parents and shows the people that would want to be taking your how to do this course from you that you know your stuff, right? So it works, the testimonials work for both, which is great.
Yeah. I'll get on that.
I don't want to overwhelm you. Those are some very big things to do right now. I don't want to overwhelm you, but this is, I love that you came on in the beginning stages of this, because we can make sure that, because if you had been spending time in groups and stuff like that, then the business itself wouldn't have begun, And so I hope that people that are watching this right now saw and heard that. It's like you spend time nurturing those, like if you have time as you're building it, but as you're building it, just let's focus on building the solid part and then start, bringing in folks.
Well, that was interesting because when I started talking about it, I had my people, I had a few other people that I didn't know ask me, how do I find a nanny? I was like, I'm not ready.
that's the proof, right? I love it. It's that I see that happen more often than I don't see that happen. When people have decided they're going to do a thing, and then immediately, if it's the right thing, immediately they get somebody asking for this idea that they just had. They literally have somebody ask for it, and it's like, that's just confirmation. It's confirmation of like, go ahead and do the thing. And I'm not saying if you didn't get that, that's not confirmation, but I'm saying I see it a lot of the time is when people decide on a thing, all of a sudden they get somebody asking them for the exact thing that they were going to create, and confirmation. So,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, lady. Well, thank you again, like I said, for being vulnerable and coming on. People don't know how hard this is. Guys, if you want a one-on-one, in the description of this video, you can either, there's directions to how to do it. You can either get a one-on-one with me, or you can get a one-on-one with one of my business strategists who are literally trained by me on how to do this stuff with you guys, okay? So any way you slice it, you'd be able to get help. But I love you guys. I will see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You got it.